There will be times in life where even when you do your best work, work that you know is flawless, that you will indeed find flaws because of those who set out to sabotage your work. And you can't allow yourself to focus on the negative more than the positive, because sometimes it seems like those who are evil or have ill intent are advancing just as well as we are. And sometimes it even feels like they're getting ahead of us. But we can't look at it that way, because there's going to come a time where the master will separate the good from the evil, and your good work, you will be acknowledged for that, and it will be gathered up together by the master, and the evil workers and the evil work will be cast into the fire. So it's not our job to do any separating. It's our job to continue to do the good work. This is the parable of the wheat and the tare, where they went out and they planted good seeds on good ground. After they got done working, they went to get some rest. While they were sleeping, the enemy crept in and he planted tare among the wheat. Now, tare is like weeds that was planted there to sabotage the garden. So when the servant went and checked the garden the next morning, he noticed the tare there. And he went back and he told the master, he said, "Didn't you plant good seeds?" And the master said, "Yeah, I planted good seeds." He said, "Well, there's tare growing there." And the master instantly knew that it was the work of the enemy. And that is a critical point right there. We have to be able to immediately recognize the work of the enemy so that we will know how to respond. Now the servant was immediately ready to go out and snatch the tare up out of the garden, but the master said not to do that, because had he done that, it would have snatched up the wheat as well, and he would have lost the crop of all of the good work that he had done. And that's where we have to be careful. We cannot allow the enemy to overturn all of our good work. So he told him, he said, "Look, you let the wheat and the tare grow together. And when it's harvest time, that's when we'll do the separating." Because the tare could not do anything to the wheat. All it could do was grow alongside the wheat. And it was really just taking up space. See, there's people, there's things, there's situations in our lives. They're just taking up space, and we can't allow them to distract us from growing. See, the wheat grew in spite of the tare being there. We've got to grow in spite of the tare being in our lives, and the things that are sent to sabotage our good works, we've got to grow anyway in spite of that. And this is what Jesus was illustrating in this parable when he told him to let the wheat and the tare grow together. So when harvest time came around, the tare was gathered up first and it was burned in the fire, and the wheat was then harvested and bundled together to be used for nourishment. And that's where we want to be. We want what we do, what we say, our lives to be nurturing and edifying and encouraging. We want to have substance. We want to produce good deeds and do good works everywhere that we go. And we don't have to worry about the tare and the sabotage, because it's will not work. God is in control. He knows all. He sees all. And we want to live a quality life so that when Jesus comes back to harvest his people, we will be gathered up to go back to live eternally with him.